call this meeting to order for October 7th at 7 p.m. Tonight we have Councillor Powell on video along with CFO Gnida, and I believe Dr. Harvey will be joining us shortly. Mayor Jacobson is absent with notice, and Councillor Medwid is currently absent. Adoption of the agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda for October 7, 2025 regular meeting of council be adopted. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Since we're not all here, we can delete. Any discussion? Nothing? All in favor? Carried. Approval of previous meeting minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes from September 16, 2025 regular council meeting be approved. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any corrections, additions, or omissions noted? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. For receptions and delegations. Be it resolved that the regular meeting be closed and the public hearing on conditional use order 3.2025 be opened. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. All in favor? Carried.
Somebody's waiting, it says there,
Yeah.
right?
Deputy Crystal, can you hear us?
I can, yes.
Okay, thank you. Just checking, thank you.
Okay, I call the hearing to order for conditional use application number 03/2025. The purpose of the hearing is to hear representation for or against the following conditional use: to develop an emergency/transitional 10-unit housing complex with a resource center and counseling for women and children.
Deputy Mayor Moriaux, I can confirm the requirements of Section 169 of the Planning Act have been adhered to.
Okay, thank you. I therefore request that any person making representation to the hearing state their name and civic address and come forward, please.
Where do I come to?
Just so
You
they
can
could
have a
vote.
seat there. Perfect, thank you.
And you've got my name and address?
I will, but for the record, just to make sure we got it correct, it's Margaret Romack, R-O-M-A-K, and you're from Swan River, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, go ahead, Margaret.
I have questions from Cecile Fedorchuk, who lives at 1319, which is right beside, and I'm across the street. So I'll read Cecile's questions first. Will the men in question with these families be allowed around the center? Am I just reading the questions?
Yeah, just read the
Okay.
questions, and then maybe someone that goes after can answer those questions.
Okay.
But CEO Tewnion will
Her
keep track.
second question is, will there be a danger to the neighbors? Meaning, I guess, the men. Number 3, will there ever be security at the center? Number 4, will it be fenced? Right now, currently, there's walking traffic comes from Main Street a lot, often, and it cuts right across her lawn. And we'd be interested to know if it's going to be fenced so that walking traffic is cut off, and if people can still cross. What was that?
Keep going.
And if they are still crossing, will there be any kind of fencing to prevent them going onto her property even more than they are now? She wants to know if there will be any addicted people there. Will there, oh, I've got that question done. And my questions were,
Okay, so before you go on to yours, Maggie,
yep,
Crystal, would you be able to answer these questions if we read them back to you?
Sure.
Okay, CO Tewnion, if you can read them back one at a time and then Crystal can respond.
Certainly, Crystal, my name is Will Tewnion, I'm the CAO. Will men be allowed around the center?
The resource center would provide supports to men if men needed to take like parenting classes. That's about the only services we offer men.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Next question, will there be a danger to the neighbors?
No, I do not believe so. We've been operating on 9th Street North, well 19 9th Street North for, I'm not even sure how long that building has been there. And I've been there 11 years. I don't think there's ever been any danger to the neighbors or problems that our neighbors have had. If they have, no one's ever complained.
Okay, thank you. Next question.
Will there be security ever? Will there ever be security at the center, Crystal?
We've never had security. We've never had a reason to have security. The building will be staffed 7 days a week. It's staffed for approximately over 12 hours a day. It would be monitored with cameras and surveillance.
Another question that was there, CEO?
Yes. Will it be fenced?
It will be.
Okay. I just want some context. Maggie said there's traffic from Main Street across down through the lawn. She'd like to know if it'll be fenced and if people that are still crossing there, if there'll be any kind of fencing to prevent them from entering her property.
actually it's the city's
Well, it would, the property will be fenced. So I don't know exactly where she is, but that piece of property would be fenced. It would be a 6-foot fence on probably maybe the back 3/4 of the property, sides and back.
And actually, it's not my property.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
I understood you were asking on behalf of the
Yeah.
neighbor. Thank you. Last question was, will there be any addicted people there?
Well, we don't, we do try to operate from a harm reduction model and saying that if we do take in a client who has suffered with some substance misuse, we don't turn them away, but we don't keep people who struggle with substance use. So I guess the answer would be mostly no. Sometimes we don't find that out right away, like in a lot of cases we don't, but we're not unable to keep people who are struggling with substance use.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Maggie, now you got questions from yourself?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Were there any concerns or issues with the facility at its original place?
And
Such as,
Anything?
any type of concerns?
no,
Okay. Is there a protocol in place at the facility if a crisis arises?
there is.
Okay. Will the residents be able to go and come any time of the day or night as they choose?
During the day, yes, we have a 10 o'clock curfew in place at our current building, and I believe if we were able to build over there, it would remain the same.
Okay. And will other people be allowed to come and go as they choose at any time?
During, well, the resource center, where we provide counseling, because we do service a lot of women and children for women and children's counseling in the community, along with other programming. So they could access the public space between 9 and 4, Monday to Friday.
Okay. And I have a last question to do with something Cecile had raised, is we have a large amount of foot traffic coming through, and if you built your fence, would that not provoke people to walk even more on her property, which they're already doing, and some of them laying down and sleeping or unconscious from things they have taken? Her property has been misused, or people have stepped over the line quite a bit there. And she's quite interested in having that foot traffic cut down if the town or you guys can make that possible.
Well, I don't know anything about the foot traffic over there. I mean, they wouldn't be entering, I guess, our space because it would be fenced, but I don't know the neighbor's property well enough. If they go through her backyard, I
No,
don't
they
know
go
where
right
the
through her
walkway
front.
is.
They go right through her front yard, and all the things that go with people walking through, and we actually are a very good community. We have 2 Echo apartments and other places on our street, and none of us are against any of it, and we're certainly not against you guys coming in. But I will say on Cecile's behalf that her property has taken quite a overuse by the walking public, and I would speak up on her behalf to see if something can be done for that.
Okay, if I may, just no, like if people are trespassing on her private property, she's more than welcome and should be contacting the RCMP to.
She'd be phoning you guys every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a traditional path, which, you know, when people have used something a long time, it's just the natural way. But we have assisted people comatose on her lawn and whatnot, so it's asking a lot of a very senior lady to cope with.
Well, that'd be something we can address if it does prove troublesome, but I think between the town and the RCMP, there could be parameters put in place or remedies that can be looked at.
Something for her, yes. And I want to add at the end, thank you for the steps. Makes those of us who skitter around do a little better.
Okay, thank you. Okay, okay, that's all for Maggie Romack. Any other persons in the gallery that wants to make comments for or against? I see Clayton Mahalchuk's here. You just here to witness.
For something else.
Oh, for something else? Okay. Okay, so upon hearing all persons present, I adjourn the hearing. So 4.2, be it resolved that the public hearing be adjourned and the regular meeting be reopened. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. All in favor? Carried. Oops. That's it. 4.3, conditional use. Be it resolved that the conditional use order 03.2025 for the Swan Valley Crisis Center be approved. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Any discussion? No discussion from council. Councillor Powell, were you had your hand up there, or were you just?
No, I'm here.
Okay, so I'll call the question. All in favor?
Yes.
That is approved. Oops.
Yeah, just explain to Crystal, Deputy Mayor.
Sure.
Crystal, it's been approved. You'll get some paperwork probably tomorrow. You're welcome to stay on and listen, but your part's all done.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
There's no reception of petitions. We'll move on to 6, communications, 6.1. Be it resolved that the letter dated October 2nd, 2025 from the Swan Titans cricket family regarding an official cricket ground be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion. Councillor Whyte.
I'm 100% in favor of cricket space. I don't have the numbers. I defer to the rec director here about, there was a comment that perhaps the ball diamonds weren't being used enough, and I'm a little gun shy that I have no way to quantify what used enough means. And I hope that, Danielle, you could help us there. If that's true, I have no problem. If not, perhaps we'll have to find another place.
I don't know what they feel is not used enough either. So I also don't know who this is coming from. They didn't specifically address that, so to ask those questions of them, we'll need a little bit more information.
Okay. I would suggest that CEO Tewnion, we send them an invite to attend one of our community of the whole meetings where we can flesh out some questions and exactly the dimensions, I guess, or the requirements of a cricket field, and then we can look back and see how we may or may not be able to accommodate that. So,
Certainly do that. What we were going to do, this came to me through a text from the mayor with no context.
okay.
So we're going to try to find out who it is. Respectfully, I was thinking we could give the director a chance to reach out, and then if
Okay.
need be, bring it to committee of whole.
Get preliminary
Is that
stuff.
good?
Sure.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So back to the resolution, just to receive the letter. Any other discussion? Nope. So all in favor? Carried. 6.2, vote. Email from a, be it resolved that the email dated October 1st, 2025 from Jolene Coates-Mashek, and I apologize for butchering that name, Mitschke, regarding concerns about safety be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? And that's a letter of concern from a representative from Swan Valley, Key Chev, regarding CO2. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that when I did receive this from the mayor, I'm sharing with council for awareness, but I did contact our intern detachment commander. He assured me the police responded the day before and dealt with this as it is a police matter, but certainly of interest for council.
Okay. Any other discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Would this be something that should be forwarded to harm reduction?
I'm sure we can send a letter indicating that we've had concerns from a specific business
Okay,
for it regarding.
thank you.
Okay, so all in favor? Carried. 6.3. Be it resolved that the email dated September 29th, 2025 from the Manitoba Municipal Administrators requesting Council pass a resolution supporting increases to the Manitoba Water Services Board annual capital budget be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? Letter is attached. Looking to increase the Water Services Board annual capital from the province from 25 million to 100 million. Councillor Bobick.
I read through this stuff and maybe just a bit. When was the last time there was a raise?
I didn't
see it.
I didn't recall reading that.
Okay.
So,
It'd be interesting to find out.
any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? For receiving the letter, carried. 6.4, be it resolved that the email dated October 2nd, 2025 from Nick Kratz regarding the record of discussion for the Contract Management Committee be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Any discussion? This is just for council information on a latest update of the latest and greatest RCMP negotiations between the Police Association and the Public Safety of Canada. So, no other discussion? All in favor? Carried. Oops. 6.5. Be it resolved that the letter dated September 29th, 2025 from Moriaux regarding meetings with the ministers be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. So this is just to receive the letter that they're asking us to send their requests in for meeting ministers at AMM by tomorrow. So a resolution will be coming farther down on the agenda regarding that. Councillor Whyte.
Your worship, just a concern. I think it's a little impolite to ask council today to get the information tomorrow. I'm sure they knew this was coming for quite a while, so I'm a little disappointed with the short notice and the timeline they've given us.
We can definitely relay that message to the ministers when we meet them.
Thank you, good point.
So, Councillor Powell, I seen your hand flash. Was your a question or just moving things up? Okay.
No, sorry. No.
Okay. All in favor? Carried. 6.6. Be it resolved that the letter dated September 5th, 2025, instead of 2024 on the resolution, Councillor CEO Tewnion, from Jared Hall regarding meetings with the RCMP be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. This is our invite to meet with the division at AMM. So, any discussion on that? Councillor Powell?
Like we're talking about the D division letter here, right? Because it does say
Yeah.
2024 on that letter.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think that's a typo from the resolution.
Okay.
It's a typo from the letter,
The letter,
but
and then we passed on the typo.
correct, we just quoted what's said in the letter. But it's a
Okay.
mistake by
Okay,
D
It
division.
says, it's just a typo on the actual, but it's down below, it does say 2025, so.
Okay, so that's our opening statement that if they were asking us to repeat last year's meeting with them. So, okay, cool. So all in favor of receiving the letter?
Okay.
Carried. 6.6, be resolved that the email dated October 3rd, 2025 from Katie Wells, Strong Cities Network regarding an invitation to join their webinar be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? No discussion. So all in favor of receiving the letter? Carried. 6.8, building and demolition permits. Be it resolved that building and demolition permits 41/25 through 49/25 with a total estimated value of $15,393,793 $15,393,720 be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? We'll note that that's the building permit for the new Wyndham or Microtel by Wyndham Hotel building permit has been on that to accommodate for that ours. All in favor? Carried. Okay, section 7, report. Chief. Oops, come back here. Be it resolved that the Chief Administrative Officer's report be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any questions? Councillor Whyte.
CEO, I'm just pointing out loud there, I noticed that the administrative assistant proposal went to I believe the other CEOs of the other municipalities. And that was denied, declined, where are we with that?
This council did not support it. So I've notified back to the other COs, this council did not support it.
Okay. So, and no message from the others yet?
No, I didn't actually ask for a reply, I was just telling them that it wasn't supported by our council.
Okay, thank you.
That will be a discussion at the upcoming G4 meeting, as it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Any other questions of the CEO? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. 7.2, Director of Public Works. Be it resolved that the Director of Public Works report be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Discussion. Councillor Whyte.
Just a comment relative to the director. A client of ours, a constituent, had a concern and it was a little vague, so the CO Tewnion talked with him and he followed up immediately with that constituent, and her concerns have been heard by Mr. Harvey and team. So thank you, Will, for that, because it has been followed. I talked to that person today.
Great, thank you. I'll pass it along to Director Harv. He's tied up right now, so he's obviously unable to join us yet, but I'll pass it on, Councillor. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Councillor Powell, your hand was moving there? No? Okay. All in favor? Carried. 7.3, be it resolved that the Director of Recreation's report be received. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion. Councillor Whyte.
Just noted in the report, and I don't have a clue what it meant, that the Swan Valley School Division has supplied our pool area with the communication board. I don't know what that is.
I can send you a picture, or you can drop by the pool and have a look. But it's essentially a board that has a bunch of images on it that someone who is nonverbal or has low verbal can point and communicate their needs. So,
I'm comfortable you sent the Swan Valley School Division a note of thank you.
I can follow up with that and see if that's
I
done,
don't
but
think we
we
can do enough of that.
Okay.
We'll maybe get the mayor to sign it on behalf of council.
Sure.
Any other discussion? Councillor Bobick.
I see there's quotes for 2 water heaters that just,
It's the next resolution, or next decision paper.
pardon?
There is a decision.
Paper
on
next
that.
resolution is, talks about it,
Oh,
that.
okay.
So, but, any other discussion? Okay. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Be it resolved that the decision paper dated October 6, 2025 from Danielle Gordon-Broome, Director of Recreation, regarding the hot water tank replacements at the Swan River Centennial Arena be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion. Giver.
Well, my mistake, I was thinking the hot water tanks were the aquatic center. It's
No.
actually for the Centennial Arena.
Yes.
Which I was gonna question, why are we changing, we just done it not too long ago.
Yeah.
So, I'm fine, thank you.
Different facility.
Yeah.
It's monkey see, monkey do with the hot water tanks.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
any other discussion on the hot water tank? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. We all know, so they have almost an expiry date on those things. Okay, all in favor of receiving the decision paper? Carried. 7.5, be it resolved that the log dated October 8th, 2024 to September 19th, 2025 from Glenda Short, Prairie Mountain Health regarding the needle cleanup be received. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Discussion. You see the log and the phone log attached. Any discussion? All in favor of receiving the report? Carried. 7.6, be it resolved that the September 2025 Swan River Handy Transit Van report be received. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Any discussion on the handy transit van report? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Let's see. 7.7, council reports. I'll start with Councillor Bobick.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Can't remember the gentleman's name, but it's the Department of Justice for meeting with the RCMP. We had a very good meeting with him, a very well-spoken gentleman. Very well done, is what I can say. It was very interesting. Attended a COW meeting, also a meeting at the Veterans Hall. My opinion was lots of questions. I didn't think there was too many answers, but I think it's a very hard question to answer. We have a watershed meeting coming up this Thursday. We'll probably be rounding up a lot of our grow programs pretty quick, so that'll be a report. And that's pretty much it.
Councillor Whyte.
Oh, wow, where do we start? September 17th, we all met with the RCMP relative to the financial directions that were taking place, and I agree. He spoke a nice language that those of us who are challenged could understand, so I appreciate the RCMP taking the time to come out and meet with us. I also noticed that gentleman was also at the crime meeting, so he is interested in our community. On the 19th, Deputy Mayor Moriaux, myself, and Reeve Gade went to the residence retreat in Granite for 2 days. We saw roughly 140 plus or minus doctors there. These are all R1s, R2. The R2s will be graduating this spring. And we had 42 of those doctors express an interest to come out and look further, so we were all pretty excited about that. On September the 22nd, we had an immigrant services meeting, and there's some concerns about some of their permits running out and not being returned, but Mr. Mazur, our MP, said he's looking into that. 23rd was a COW meeting. On September the 26th, I had the pleasure of being invited to the Navarati Festival, the East Indian community, 100 plus people, and just a wonderful evening. I love that culture again, sharing with our community. On the 29th, I went to the Sapatawea grand opening of the new hotel. 76 rooms, a conference center, a pool, a hot tub. That's going to bring so much money to the community while they're building it, let alone when it's finished, and the individuals and the community people who will use it. So I want to compliment Chief Janai and his council for having the foresight to do that. On September the 30th, I went to the Truth and Reconciliation meeting, bringing greetings from the town. And again, a full house. All levels of community there, all people looking for reconciliation, looking to work together. Then October the 1st, I went to the Town Hall on Crime. Again, I echo Councillor Bobick's, lots of information shared. I appreciate that the community had the chance to vent and to speak their mind. And by and large, it was fairly well managed. Mr. Boogie did a decent job there, a good job there. And the people were relatively polite, very polite, the majority of them. Then October 3rd, Councillor Moriaux, myself, and Reeve Gade hosted and our community hosted the RIG, Rural Interest Group. We had 30-some, 26 to 30, they were moving all the time. First and second year medical students come to our community. We took them for a tour of the Duck Mountains, which included pontoon boats, the fishing. Everybody in our boat caught a fish. A hike and a dinner. And during the day and the morning, they went to tour the hospital and primary care clinic. So excited young people. I can't thank Dr. Burnside, Dr. Coding, and Dr. McKay for helping enough. They too helped a lot during that process. And of course the community, the people who donated their boats, the people who donated the gas, the government who gave us a license to have them fish. It goes on and on. Sport fishing gave us the rods and reels, and life jackets from Parks Grant. So it's no big jobs, but a lot of little ones. And without your worship, deputy worship, what do they call you, sir?
That works.
Without all the help of so many people, it wouldn't have happened. So we're optimistic that some of them will come back. And that's it for town stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Powell.
And I think we pretty much mentioned everything here from other than we had a library meeting on the 22nd. I will bring some stuff up in the most privilege. So yeah, just we had a cow. A huge congratulations to staff in Moriaux and Chief Danielle on that great thing that's going forward with the hotel. That's going to be a huge thing and investment for our community. Yeah, and the town hall, of course. I think we kind of explained that, everything that went on there as well. So yeah.
Okay. And for myself, basically everything has been covered by council already, but it was a privilege to offer comments on behalf of the town to Sabatoyak Cree Nation on their sod turning for that, which shows their dedicated investment into our community. But on September 29th, we had, I guess, a prelim meeting for the community safety and well-being plan. And then this Thursday, we'll be continuing on our meetings with the data and the results of the surveys and the focus group interviews that we had before we move on with some more number crunching. And then on October 1st, the town hall, where His Worship and I were on the panel along with some other members there. So it was appreciative to hear the feedback from the community, which provided some clarification on some of the, I guess, pulse of the community. But then at the end of the night, I think I felt confused on some of the wants that they wanted, which contradicts some of the statements that were made weeks and months prior to that. So I think we need to have a little bit more fleshing out as to exactly. It was very quite clear that the community wants a halt to the needle distribution, but in regards to the other aspects of harm reduction with the treatments and the other programmings that they offer, that it seemed like there was some receptiveness to that in the community, but that was hard to gauge based on the speakers that were there, because it appeared to be like some were for and some reading body languages were against. So we'll have to figure that one out a little bit more, and hopefully through our community and safety well-being plan we can figure that one out. And then finally this weekend, with as Councillor Whyte had mentioned, the Max Reedy University of Manitoba Medical College, we had the medical 1s and 2s students out here, where the intent of the committee is to make awareness of the Swan River Valley in the medical community, especially in the physician world, where we were an unknown before, and now we are a talking point community in the university, where we never were before. So that is now, I guess, a feather in their cap from when we first had the ones, the last group, where they had 15 and pulled teeth and nail to get 21. To this time they had 75 plus people express interest to come to this event, where the co-presidents had to do a selection and whittle it back down to 25 to maintain the intimate atmosphere, where only bring out the people that are truly interested in rural medicine and the valley, and not just out for a free weekend. So definitely to the group it's appreciated, but the students that were here were very interested in the valley and what we have to offer, and what's the group focused on, not only what was available in the facilities, but what the Swan Valley has a whole when it comes to work-life balance and the families, and what the families can do while their spouse works in the healthcare system. And that would be all for me. So moving on to new business, 8.1. Oh my God. So, whereas the government of Manitoba has established a Manitoba Growth, Renewal and Opportunities Grant Program to support municipal infrastructure renewal and community development projects, and whereas the town of Swan River has identified the Swan River Legion Park Revitalization Project as a priority initiative to enhance accessibility, safety, and usability as of one of the community's most valued public spaces, and whereas the proposed projects includes resurfacing and widening pedestrian pathways, upgrading park lighting and stage facilities, enhancing baseball diamonds, improving water fountains for both human and pet use, and installing security and connective features such as keypad locks and internet-enabled cameras, and whereas the total estimated project cost is $520,000 with funding proposed as follows. $255,000 Manitoba Grow Grant requested, $245,000 Federal Canada Community Building Fund, $10,000 Municipal Recreation Reserve, and $10,000 ineligible park costs. And whereas funding sources have been confirmed and are available as outlined in the submitted application, be it resolved that the Council of Town of Swan River hereby approves the submission for the 2025 Manitoba Grow Grant application for the Swan River Legion Park Revitalization Project, and be it further resolved that the Town of Swan River confirms its commitment to provide its municipal contribution and to ensure the project is completed in accordance with all applicable requirements. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion? Okay, Councillor Bobick.
Because these are all 50-50 funding.
The grant is a 50-50, but our 50% is made up of other grants.
Okay.
And like the Canada Community Building Fund, and then our reserves and that, so.
Okay.
So it's
As
like,
it reads.
yeah, so as it reads there, so that's where that 520,000 is broken down to where the anticipated costs are.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? As this is an identified major project for part of the safety and security of the community, along with recreation improvement opportunities, where we had discussed that funding sources to revitalize the park are very limited, and council has chosen to use this project to apply to this grant for it. So, all in favor? Carried. And we will stay tuned. 8.2. Whereas a vacancy exists on the Council of Town of Swan River for the position of councillor, and whereas a by-election was held in accordance with the Municipal Act and no nominations were received, and whereas Section 102(2) of the Municipal Act permits council to appoint a qualified persons to fill the vacancy, be it resolved that council appoints Glenn McKenzie, a qualified elector of the Town of Swan River, to fill the vacant council seat effective immediately, and be it further resolved that the appointment be recorded in the minutes of this meeting and publicly posted in accordance with the requirements of the Municipal Act. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion. Councillor Whyte.
I think the community should be very thankful for the quality of the candidate that's let his name stand. Glenn has been a mayor for 30 years. He's calm, he's rational, he has a sense of humor, he has the background and the knowledge. He's an excellent member of this council, and I look forward to his leadership. I look forward to working with him again.
Councillor Bobick.
I echo Councillor White's statements.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried. 8.3. Whereas the previously scheduled G4 meeting ordered by Resolution 2025-0392 for September 29th, 2025 was cancelled, and whereas administration consulted with other councils regarding an alternative suitable date for the upcoming G4/G8 meeting, be it resolved that council endorses October 20th, 2025 as a rescheduled date for the G4/G8 meeting based on the outcome of that consultation. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Any discussion? Councillor Whyte.
It's a wonderful idea for us to get together, as I always feel it is. I apologize, I have a pre-existing meeting with Louisiana Pacific. I sit on their advisory board at 6, so with any amount of luck I can get out there by 7:30, so I hope to attend, but please don't order a meal for me. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried. 8.4. Whereas the Municipal Assessment Act requires municipalities to establish a board of revision each year to hear and decide upon applications for revision of the assessment roll, be it resolved that all members of council for the Town of Swan River be appointed to the board of revision, Be it further resolved that Mayor Lance Jacobson be appointed as chairperson and Chief Administrative Officer Will Tewnion be appointed as secretary. A move by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion. This is just a standard formal resolution. All in favor? Carried. 8.5. Whereas the vast majority of Manitoba municipalities are in dire need of the Manitoba Water Services Board MWSB financial, professional, and/or related subject matter expertise associated to every aspect of water and wastewater projects and initiatives, and whereas the provincial economy, municipal, residential, and commercial growth, community development opportunities, climate resiliency, public health, and convergent federal and provincial programs are at serious risk of being postponed, cancelled, or suboptimally advanced because of the MWSB is critically oversubscribed with projects and at current funding levels has a seriously compromised financial capability to complete even a fraction of the queued projects required to drive local prosperity, health, safety, and livability. Be it resolved that the Council of Town of Swan fully supports an immediate annual increase to the MWSB's capital budget beginning in 2026 to $100 million from its current $24 million. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. Discussion. Councillor Bobick.
I guess I go back to my question, when was the last time it was raised? Not that it makes a difference, but just be curious for information.
Maybe administration can send out a quick email to the Water Services Board and ask that question.
I could, but it might clarify, this came from AMM. It was AMM's recommendation that all municipalities put forward this resolution. If you want me to reach out to Water Sewer,
I think we would speak to AMM on.
Yeah.
They would probably have the answer. So, yeah, it's fine, thank you.
sir, do you
It's
want
fine.
to just leave it then?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
speak to AMM.
Sir, you want me to
Councillor
speak to AMM?
No,
No.
Dennis, you gotta talk to.
So we'll just reach out to AMM and ask
Yeah,
them?
yeah,
Okay.
when you're there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, send out an email to Dennis Volkov and ask that clarification, then we can put it to bed before we. Councillor Whyte.
Somehow it's in there, it should, I assume, just, I hate to assume, that the Manitoba Association of Municipalities are encouraging you to consider. Because it's sitting there and I was not sure who this came from.
It was received further up
Above.
in the agenda.
Ah,
It was received further in the agenda, and this is the resolution
Gotcha.
resulting from what we received earlier.
thank you.
You're
Did
welcome.
read it.
Councillor Powell, anything?
No,
No?
no.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried. 8.6. You guys are killing me tonight. Whereas on September 19th, 2023, Council approved through Resolution 2023-0400 a grant of $40,000 from the Crime Prevention Reserve to the Swan Valley Chamber of Commerce in support of the Community Surveillance Project, CSP. And whereas on December 12th, 2023, Council received a grant of $50,000 from the Criminal Property Forfeiture Fund, which was issued by Resolution 2024-0028 to the Chamber of Commerce in support of the CSP. And whereas the Chamber of Commerce has since purchased and deployed a significant portion of the CCTV equipment associated with the CSP, and whereas Council was provided with an invoice for $50,000 with details on expenditures up to February 2nd, 2024, be it resolved, Council formally requests from the Chamber of Commerce a report on the CSP, including a description of the status, expenditures incurred to date, and anticipated future costs to complete the project. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Discussion? Councillor Whyte.
It's such a valuable goal. I think there's a lot of steps are are moving forward. However, I don't see any tangible results yet. I don't see a center where people can sit and watch the screens or communication can occur. So I'm concerned that this seems to have stalled, and we have the potential to reduce crime significantly through the appropriate use of this tool. So I'm excited that it's coming on now.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried. 8.7. Be it resolved that administration be authorized to submit a formal request to the municipal relations for a meeting with the ministers identified in the attached proposal, and that the topics outlined be designated as the primary items for discussion. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. So on your attachments, we have already, we have the Minister of Justice, Matt Wiebe, Minister of Housing, Addictions and Homelessness, Bernadette Smith, Minister of Housing, Seniors and Long-Term Care, Zuma Ozagara, and Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure, Lisa Naylor, with speaking or concerns below each one. Any other discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Should the Minister of Public Relations be added there with about hub funding?
Okay, so can we make that amendment, CEO Tewnion, to add Minister of Community or Municipal Affairs, Mr. Simard? Councillor Whyte.
I appreciate the list. I think it's bang on. The questions are very appropriate. I applaud the addition. But I would like to see Minister of Natural Resources being added, specifically from an economic perspective relative to the outfitters in our community. I'm going to guess we've got 10 or 20 outfitters. I guarantee you in the past they've brought millions of dollars into our community. So there's an economic concern I have relative to the moose hunting, for example. In the ducks, the porcupines are 1,169 moose in 2010. Right now there's 409. Now, I don't know how you can have a moose hunting season. So I think Mr. Boucher has to hear from that. A lot of our public, a lot of the people sitting in this room, some of us, we hunt. So I'm concerned that that's not happening. Worst case scenario, that moose, I have a biology background, that moose population drops any more. It could be the end of the moose, short term, in that mountain. Because there's ticks, there's bears, there's weather, there's disease, there's all sorts of factors other than hunting that are at play here. And to include hunting still, I think it's crazy. So I would certainly talk to him about the moose population, bears, cow, elk, whatever.
So with the resolution, we look to add 2 ministers. I will need a mover and a seconder to amend the initial resolution to include that. Councillor Bobick would look at. So CEO Tewnion would be just as amended right at the end, suffice for amending the resolution to include those 2 ministers?
I'm comfortable with that, Deputy Mayor, if you are.
Okay. Do we have a seconder to amend the resolution? Councillor Whyte. Any objections to the amendment? Okay. All in favor of the amendment? Councillor Whyte? Okay. So back to the original resolution. I'll reread it. Be resolved that the administration be authorized to submit a formal request to the municipal relations for a meeting with the ministers identified on the attached proposal, and that the topics outlined in the and that the topics outlined be designated as the preliminary items for discussion as amended. All in favor? Carried. 8.8. Whereas the Swan River Centennial Arena is currently operating with 1 hot water tank, and whereas it is recommended that the Swan River Centennial Arena operates with 3 hot water tanks to ensure continuous service, be it resolved that the Town of Swan River Recreation Department be authorized to expend $18,182.75 from the Recreation Facilities Reserve Fund to purchase a hot water tank from Mullen Plumbing and Geothermal. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion. Councillor Bobick.
That's for 1 hot water tank?
It should say 2, I just noticed that was 1.
So purchase. Can we just make that typo to the resolution?
Yeah, sorry about that. Purchase of 2 hot water tanks.
Correct. So you're making the motion to make, 2 hot water tanks for that price? Okay, do I have a seconder to amend the resolution to 2? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Are we all in favor of making the amendment to read 2 hot water tanks? Okay, amendment is carried. So the original resolution will read, be it resolved that the Town of Swan River Recreation Department be authorized to expend $18,182.75 from the Recreation Facilities Reserve to purchase 2 hot water tanks from Mullen Plumbing and Geothermal. All in favor? Carried. The referees can have some hot water. Okay. Oops. 8.9. Be it resolved that Councillor Corinna Medwid's request to extend by 1 month the leave of absence granted to her from April 1, 2025 until October 1, 2025 be approved. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by do we have a seconder? Third and final call, do we have a seconder? Just to get the resolution on the floor.
Seconder.
Okay, Councillor Whyte seconds it. Discussion. Councillor Bob.
Could we have the resolution for the leave of absence at the beginning read? Do we have that handy?
Sure. Deputy Mayor Moriaux, on April 1st, 2025, Resolution 2025-0145 was carried by council. The resolution read, be it resolved that Councillor Corinna Medwid of the Town of Swan River be excused and be granted a leave of absence from her duties and obligations as councillor, effective immediately to a maximum of 6 months. Be it further resolved that all councillor indemnities be suspended while on leave until Councillor Medwid resumes her duties as councillor.
Any other discussion? Councillor Powell.
Okay, okay, so I guess just this is my thoughts here. I just want to thank you for your email and for sharing experiences and feelings regarding her time on council. I just want to let her know we appreciate her openness and the email today to make council aware of her concerns. I have carefully considered the request for a 1-month extension to her leave of absence. However, after thoughtful consideration, I myself must inform that I cannot grant an extension at this time. I really think it's essential for both her and council to move forward in a manner that supports our collective goals and responsibilities. And while I encourage her to continue prioritizing her health and work with her council, I believe it's important to re-engage with council as planned. The letter states she's requiring an apology before return. I myself do not feel that I have ever done anything that warrants an apology, and that we are councillors, and it is our opinion that we do not have to agree on all topics brought forth to the council table. We value her contributions and hope that her return is as positive and constructive as possible.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or discussion? Councillor Bobick.
I tend to agree with Councillor Powell. At the same time, I think by doing this, we'll be setting precedent here. I just got to remember that we have staff. It would probably follow the same suit as what we do here right tonight. So, I mean, be very careful on what you do here because it does set a precedent.
Any other comments? Councillor Whyte.
I just concur with Councillor Powell. I'm concerned about her health. I read this letter and I'm not prepared to write a letter of apology. I don't have to acknowledge that my actions were inappropriate, and this is an environment full of toxicity, and I have trouble accepting that. lucky we are, so all our meetings are just like this. We disagree, we don't hold it personal. So I'm concerned about Councillor Medwid's health, and I don't think it'd be good for her if she feels that way, which she obviously does, to come back to that environment if that's what she thinks it is.
Okay. One last round for discussion. Okay, I'll call the resolution. All in favor of granting the 1 month extension? Against? The resolution is defeated. Moving on. Unfinished business, 9.1. Be it resolved that variance order 2.2025 for Prairie Power Wash be approved. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Whyte. So as a result of the last meeting where it was tabled due to requesting additional information, the applicant has provided the responses to the questions that we submitted, along with a site drawing. And just for clarification, they are requesting to reduce the frontage, not the setback of the building. So the frontage is the width of the lot, not the distance from the curb to the front of the building. So with the new information on hand, is there any other questions or discussion from council? Councillor Whyte.
I note that the individuals consulted with their neighbors on both sides, which I think would be important, and to date it appears that there's no issues there. It's economic development, people spending money in their town, we're talking about 13 feet, so I'm prepared to accept this.
Councillor Bobick.
So that was initially, was that the lot size? Was that a lot there or a lot design?
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me it was a subdivided lot off the initial lot, and it's 80s. Our zoning bylaw requires frontages for businesses 100 feet, and this lot's 87.15, I believe, feet wide, so that's where the variance is to reduce it from 100 to 87.15. So it's just a little narrower lot. So, and administration, correct me if I'm wrong on that interpretation.
You're absolutely correct, Deputy Mayor.
Okay, so any other questions from council? Okay, so back to the resolution. Be it resolved that variance order 2/2025 for Prairie Power Wash be approved. All in favor? Carried. Well, you waited a long time, Clayton, for that one.
Question.
See, that's what happens when you give the information that we're looking for in the front end. Okay, have a good night.
Thank you.
You guys all received the updated site plan?
Yes.
See that? Okay. See ya.
Thank you. 10, accounts. 10.1. Oh. Okay, and now I know why His Worship skipped tonight's meeting. Whereas the town of Swan River used municipal equipment, materials, and labor to carry out private works on private property under the Municipal Act Clause 252E and set the fines and charges for the works under Clause 252(1)A of the Act, and whereas sufficient time has been allowed for payment of such outstanding amounts as listed on the attached Schedule A totaling $4,606.18, be it resolved that each of the unpaid amounts listed in Schedule A be added to the corresponding property tax roll and collected in that manner. And be it further resolved that notice be sent to each property owner detailing the amounts being added to the taxes and advising that interest will occur on said amounts in the same manner as for unpaid property taxes effective November 1st, 2025. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Discussion. All in favor? Carried. 10.2. Be it resolved that the following accounts be received. Payroll accounts checks number P5590 to number P5592, and direct deposit payments totaling $123,945.94 as listed on Schedule A, and direct deposit payments totaling $34,476.80 as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion, questions? All in favor? Carried. 10.3. Be it resolved that the following accounts be approved for payment. General accounts checks number 33251 to number 33302 totaling $1,770,000, $198.34 as listed on Schedule A. Checks number 33255 and 33259 and 33262 voided as homeowners took credit on account instead of check. And then direct deposit payments totaling $90,633.67 as listed on Schedule B. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. Any discussion? Councillor Bobick.
Just to put it out there that it sounds like a lot of money the town of Swan River is spending, but it actually is going, a lot of it's going to the Swan Valley School Division for collecting the school tax levy.
That is absolutely correct. Since we collect the school taxes on behalf of the school divisions and then remit that as payments to the division as we get it. Any other questions? All in favor? Carried. 11, bylaws, 11.1. Be it resolved that bylaw 16/2025 being a bylaw of the town of Swan River to regulate development activities and the clearing of vegetation on public reserves along the river shorelines be read a second time. Moved by Councillor Whyte, seconded by Councillor Bobick. Any discussion? Councillor Whyte.
I'd like to assume, I'm hoping the Urban Forest Committee would ask for input, or at least to take a look at it and see if they have any suggestions. In fact,
Okay, so Councillor Whyte, as their representative to the Urban Forest Committee, you can take that back to your committee and report back before third reading if they have any concerns or changes.
yeah, we meet tomorrow at 1:30.
There you go.
If I could get a printout of that and I can make it available to the Urban Forest Committee. Please.
Would you like me to email that to you, or what?
Sure.
Okay.
It's attached to your schedule, your agenda right now.
If you could print me off 20 copies at the same time, because we meet in here tomorrow,
20 copies?
please.
Okay, so I'll let that do. Then we'll go to the resolution here. So
For sure. Thank you.
you can figure out the Councillor Bobick.
Just when it says clearing vegetation on public reserve bordering the Swan River, so is there public reserves that don't border the Swan River that should be
Yes.
cleared?
Yes, there is. We do have public reserves that do not border the
So
river.
this just speaks of the, on the river? Or is it just, is it Swan River as a town? Is that
What section are you referring to?
One.
232.1?
Yeah.
Where,
All public clearing of vegetation bordering the Swan River is, so that's saying just the Swan
oh,
River.
line.
Yeah, If I could add some context. Deb,
Go ahead.
So, yeah, so this was first read on September 16th. We discussed it at length at a committee of the whole on September 9th, including my commitment to have some policy that backs this up. If council recalls, there was a question about, it was an analogy of like regulations that support provincial regulations, so that we can have input from those that are most informed before we provide a permit. Right now, there's nothing stopping anybody from doing it, so this is an attempt to protect the Swan River shoreline.
So back to your question, Councillor Bobick, we do have other public reserves within the town, but the bylaw is specific to the public reserves that are up against the Swan River.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor for second reading? Carried. Okay. And we got no notice of motion, so members' privilege. We will go Councillor Powell for members' privilege.
Okay, just a couple things here. Just that I want to make sure that we knew that on the 17th and 18th, that's going to be down at the museum. They're having their great big Scooptoberfest down there, so that'll be happening on the 17th and 18th. So if everybody's around, hopefully they can stop by there. And just that we have a few stand things coming up in the next couple of weekends, so just hopefully everybody can make it out to some of those as well.
Okay. Councillor Whyte.
A couple of small ones. For those who read the Brandon Sun, I don't as a rule, but I sent it out to some of our people. The Brandon Sun did an article on the rink this past weekend and did some interviews with people involved and basically color pictures. So it's our team's efforts getting out farther and farther. Following reading that, I got a call from Vancouver, from one of the radio stations in Vancouver saying what's happening up there with healthcare. Can we have a chat? So our little embryonic work that we're doing here, starting with Jeremy and his team posting some stuff. The Brandon Sun gets it from the Star Times posts Brandon, and now it's into Vancouver. So our little goal is embryonic, but it's like planting a tree, it's taking a while. So I'm pretty excited about that. Just a note that Del Kitchen, a longtime member of our valley, has passed away recently, and condolences to the family from all of us.
Okay. That's all? Wow. Okay, Councillor Bobick.
Just in my travels this summer, I happened to come through the town of Swan River late in the evening and went by the cemetery and noticed all the solar lights there. Very calming and peaceful. I just commented on how nice it looks when you go by there and see the solar lights. It's really pretty. Just to comment on the steps up front, you guys did a good job. There's more coming, hopefully. I've been talking with Mr. Harvey. Him and I have had some ideas we'll bring towards council, but that'll be all towards budget, I guess. Just to comment that when we're doing our meetings here, sometimes council doesn't say too much when it's check logs and things. The reports are very well done. So when we read them, we have all the information in front of us, and that's probably why a lot of the times there isn't much conversation in it, because they're very well done. The check logs, all the reports answer a lot of questions for us, so it doesn't need to come to the table. So well done from management and staff.
And all those attached reports are visible to the public now.
Yes, thank you, but they're very well done. Just in the next Powell meeting, I plan on bringing up a discussion on putting an end to needle distribution in Swan River, whether that should come in the form of a resolution or what I think, but that would be something that I will bring forward.
I have a draft bylaw to come forward.
Very good, thank you. And that's it.
Okay, Councillor White.
I know I missed, and the mayor would probably say it's too late, but paid commercial, Slumdale Outdoors is having their annual dinner on October 25. That committee has raised over $100,000 in the 7 years of their existence to the valley. So if you're interested in a wonderful prime rib dinner, October 25, I have tickets.
See, I knew you were too short the first time. CO Tewnion.
Sorry, I was going back and making a note here. There we go. Just for council's awareness, I'm officially a homeowner again in Swan River. We got occupancy of our new residence yesterday, so we're now living there. And just for clarification for Councillor Whyte and Councillor Bobick, you were giving praise to the gentleman who came and spoke to us about contract policing. That is Alan Weiss. He's the Province of Manitoba Director of Contract Policing.
Thank you.
You pronounce it Weiss?
Weiss.
Wise?
W-I-S-E, correct. Weiss.
Interesting. Is that not wise?
He's very wise. I believe his last name is pronounced Weiss.
Who knows, not a discussion for it. You're completed there, CO Tewnion?
I am, thank you.
Okay. Director Gordon-Broome. That's a tongue twister I gotta get used to
I
now.
don't think I have to say much more other than I got past my first major hurdle with the GROW application.
Yeah,
That
we
was
sort
a-
of dropped that bomb on there pretty quick.
So that was an interesting one, but happy to have completed it and got that in. Otherwise, I've just been enjoying the extended fall that we've had and all those beautiful colors in our valley. Taking a couple of nice drives, so that's been great. And since Mayor Jacobson has set the precedent that I am the official report of the Stampeders during the meetings, I will just share that we've had incredible support from the community once again this year and at the barbecue to kick off the season, so that was great. We've had a little bit of a slow start, but we're looking forward to turning it around, and I just checked the score for you, and it's 1-1 going into the third tonight. So we're holding up well against Dauphin. And one thing to note too is there is a cultural night, special game night on the 17th, where we have partnered with Settlement Services to expose some of the newcomers to the valley to hockey and maybe get some interest from them. And there's going to be almost like a mini folk festival happening in the lobby, and there's going to be singing and performances and stuff like that from the various culture groups in the valley. So it's going to be an exciting night. So October 17th.
Okay, thank you.
That's everything.
CFO Gnida, anything from you today?
No, nothing.
Okay, thank you. Esteemed Jeremy Bergen, anything from you?
I don't have much to add other than I want to commend our RCMP in Chambers right now for the excellent arrest that was made yesterday.
That's one message.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to in camera. So where's the be it resolved that pursuant to sections 152.3 of the Municipal Act, council go into committee and close the meeting to the public. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. We have some discussion with Staff Sergeant Linklater and the RCMP. All in favor? Carried. We are in camera. We can take a 5-minute break. Okay, so we just come out of camera. Resolution's been passed. There's no items arising out of camera. So be it resolved that this regular meeting of council now adjourn at 9:26 p.m. Moved by Councillor Bobick, seconded by Councillor Powell. All in favor? Carried. Meeting is adjourned.